With that, we begin this bulletin with our focus on a story that is, in fact, developing. It is a rather tragic story that's come in from Maharashtra. A fire blast that occurred at an ordnance factory in Maharashtra's Bhandara district claimed 8 lives, injured 7, while some others are currently trapped under the collapsed roof. The blast took place around 10:30 a.m. in the Vidarbha region of Maharashtra on Friday. You can see the explosion and its aftermath of smoke that was seen, a cloud having been formed that could be seen from the factory premises rising up to the sky. The explosion caused the factory roof to completely collapse. 12 people were trapped under the debris and rescue operations are currently underway. JCB machines are being used to clear the rubble. According to Bhandara collector Sanjay Kolte, 2 individuals have been rescued so far. Medical teams have reached the spot and rescue operations are currently underway.
दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना हुई है। भंडारा में ऑर्डिनेंस फैक्ट्री जो है वहां बड़ा स्फोट हुआ है और 8 लोगों का मृत्यु हुआ है और 7 जख्मी हुए हैं। ये प्राथमिक माहिती है।
भंडारा जिले में ऑर्डिनेंस फैक्ट्री में जो स्फोट हुआ है उसमें कर्मचारी और अधिकारी जिनकी मृत्यु हुई है, मैं उनको मैं संवेदना व्यक्त करता हूं, श्रद्धांजलि अर्पण करता हूं। और महाराष्ट्र में नहीं तो देश में आरडीएक्स बनने वाली एकमेव ये डिफेंस की फैक्ट्री है। वहां पे जब से नरेंद्र मोदी की सरकार आई तब से उन्हें 100% जो एफडीआई लाई और जिसमें डिफेंस में भी उनको इन्वॉल्व किया है, तब से ये पूरे देश में ऐसी घटना बढ़ते जा रही है। आखिरी जो लोग वहां पर डिफेंस ऑर्डिनेंस फैक्ट्री में जो लोगों का मृत्यु हुआ है, कई लोग घायल हुए हैं, उसकी पूरी जवाबदारी नरेंद्र मोदी की सरकार पे जाती है। और आज डिफेंस में भी काम करने वाले कर्मचारी और अधिकारी भी सुरक्षित नहीं है और इसलिए हमारी मांग है कि ये पूरी व्यवस्था की जांच करने के लिए संयुक्त संसदीय समिति की एक टीम बनाई जाए और उसके माध्यम से ये जांच हो, ये मांग हम लोग करते हैं।
Now, so far, let us tell you where this entire factory was located. It's not a rather secluded area. In fact, it was located in the Satpura mountain ranges, which is, in fact, the confluence of Vainganga, Am, Jam, Sur and Kanhan rivers at Ambhora, about 40 kilometers away. This confluence spot, it's just 40 kilometers away from this factory, and it is a very famous tourist spot, which is from where this entire smoke, the cloud of smoke that formed over the factory after the fire and the blast took place, could be seen from. And casualties so far, Nitin Gadkari has announced them, 8 casualties. However, nobody is ruling out the fact that there could be more casualties at this given point. With that, let me cut across to our colleague Aditya Raj Kaul, who's joining us from the newsroom at this point. Aditya, a very good evening to you. Rather tragic an incident that's taken place. But you know, what remains extremely concerning even at this given point is the fact that while investigation and rescue operations are underway, it still hasn't been figured out as to why this attack, why this particular blast took place. The reason behind such a big fire, we can see the extent of it just from the smoke visuals that have come in.
Well, absolutely. A very unfortunate incident taking place in Bandra district of Maharashtra, where the ordnance depot was located. Well, in such areas, of course, there are SOPs and fire extinguishing SOPs that are always there. The exact reason for this blast that occurred at around 10:30 a.m. this morning is not absolutely clear yet. We have just had a small press release from the Indian Army indicating that the rescue efforts have been on. You're right that 8 persons in fact now have been killed in this blast that has taken place in Bandara Ordnance Factory. And apart from that, there are at least 14 to 15 who have been in fact under the debris, because what happened immediately after the blast was that the roof of this entire area collapsed. And of course, the entire blast was heard 5 kilometers away. That clearly indicates the extent of the blast that was there. We don't know the exact kind of ammunition that was there, that was blasted, that resulted in this blast really. But an unfortunate incident. Rescue operations are still underway. It is believed that a few people could be still under the debris. There are escalators and other devices that are being used for the rescue operations right now. Perhaps by later evening it will be amply clear what really happened, and there will be an inquiry immediately ordered as to why this really happened. I can tell you that not very long ago I was in Pulgaon. Pulgaon is not very far from this area in Maharashtra itself, which is the biggest ordnance factory in Asia, and I could see that these areas are very large, spread across large miles, many miles, and proper SOPs are in place. And I'm sure that the Indian Army had SOPs here as well. But unfortunate incident, we will come to know after the inquiry what really resulted in this, and very sadly 8 lives have been lost. There are others who are being saved even as this rescue operation continues right now.
You know, Aditya, fire this big, I mean, there are speculations, or rather it is being anticipated there might have been some sort of a negligence at some part in following the SOPs that you're speaking of. Again, the inquiry will make that more clear. But, initial reports were also suggesting that some 12 people were trapped under the debris of the collapsed roof. Could you also bring us some updates with regards to what their condition is currently? Because 7 right now is what we are learning is the number of people who've been injured, and 8 people have died. That is the number that we are learning. If you could just bring us some more details on that front.
That's right. It's quite possible that there could have been some kind of a negligence, because in a very routine manner, there are standard operating procedures that are always kept in mind whenever there is movement of ammunition inside the ordnance factory, or even the, just keeping the ammunition there. There are standard operating procedures through which the Indian Army really goes through it. There are no people from outside that are allowed in that area. There are only people who are aware of how to deal with the ammunition, who are kept with such devices and such chemicals and ammunition. Yes, you are right that now we have a confirmation from the Indian Army that 8 people unfortunately have been killed in this incident. Initially we were told that 12 to 14 people were trapped under the debris when the roof of this area collapsed, and efforts have been on to retrieve those people. Out of those who have been caught in the debris, at least 5 people have been rescued till now. There are now efforts underway to rescue the others remaining who are under the debris, and perhaps by later evening the entire rescue operation will be over, and I'm being told that the inquiry has already begun as to why this really happened, and would be clear perhaps in the next 24 hours as to why this happened and how this could be avoided, not just in Bhandara but all other areas where the ammunition depots are in Maharashtra and elsewhere.
Absolutely, Aditya. Thank you so much for bringing us those details into this rather tragic incident that's taken place. Well, investigation and rescue operations are currently underway, is the latest updates that we can bring to you at this point. With that, we are now moving on to a story coming in from the political arena within the nation. The meeting of the Parliamentary Committee on the Waqf Amendment Bill began on a stormy note. Why we say so? Well, opposition members claiming that they were not being given adequate time to study the proposed changes to the draft legislation. Now, the Joint Committee on the Waqf Amendment Bill, chaired by the BJP member Jagdambika Pal, was scheduled to hear the views of a delegation led by Mirwais Umar Farooq, the religious head of Kashmir. Let's listen in to initial responses that have come into the story so far, beginning with Nishikant Dubey speaking on the matter.
विपक्ष के ही लोगों का ये विचार है, खासकर ओवैसी साहब, कि जम्मू कश्मीर के जो पूरे रिप्रेजेंटेशन है उसको हमने नहीं सुना और मीरवाइज को बुलाना चाहिए। आज मीरवाइज को बुलाने के लिए ही इस मीटिंग को क्लॉज बाय क्लॉज जो मीटिंग होनी थी हम लोगों की 24 और 25 में, इसको चेयरमैन ने पोस्टपोन किया अपोजिशन के सजेशन क्या था। लेकिन आज जब मीरवाइज के पहुंचने का था, सबसे पहले कश्मीर के बारे में विपक्षियों की क्या व्यूज है, विचार है, आज ये एक्सपोज हुआ। और एक्सपोज ये हुआ कि मीरवाइज वहां बैठे रहे, मीरवाइज के सामने इन लोगों ने हंगामा किया।
बनर्जी ने आज इस कमेटी की बैठक में हंगामा किया और बिल के अंदर आकर के झगड़ा करने की कोशिश किया, गालियाँ दिया। मुझे लगता है आज उन्होंने सारी मर्यादा और सारी सीमाएं तोड़ दी और मुझे लगता है कि पूरा देश और पूरी दुनिया देख रहे हैं। ये जॉइंट पार्लियामेंट्री कमेटी वक्त रोज मिल रही है और उस पर रिपोर्ट आनी है और एक तरफ जब यह भी है कि भाई पूरे देश के स्टेक होल्डर्स को सुन रहे हैं, तो अगर जम्मू कश्मीर से मीरवाइज जो पहली बार पार्लियामेंट, संविधान और जेपीसी के सामने अपीयर हो रहे हों, उन्होंने एक भरोसा दिया और अपने व्यूज देने आए, उनको भी न सुनने देना चाहते। उनके सामने जैसे पार्लियामेंट के बिल में चिल्लाते हैं, हंगामा करते हैं और जिस तरह की भाषा का प्रयोग करते हैं पार्लियामेंट्री वर्ड्स का, वो किया। इससे मुझे बहुत आहत हूँ, हमारे सभी सदस्य आहत हैं। और जब 2 बार हम लोगों ने एडजर्न कर दिया मीटिंग, लेकिन उसके बावजूद भी सोच समझ करके आए थे कि आज हम इस मीटिंग को नहीं होने देंगे या मीरवाइज को या लाइयर्स फॉर जस्टिस को नहीं सुनने देंगे, तो हमारे निशिकांत दुबे जी ने एक प्रस्ताव किया, उस पर उन सदस्यों को निकालना पड़ा। हमें तो दुख होता है, हम पूरे दिन मीटिंग करते हैं, हम चाहते हैं कि वो बैठे और विटनेसेज को सुने, उनसे क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन करें, लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि जेपीसी के मेंबर होने के बाद भी बाहर केवल बयान देते हैं कि ये हो जाएगा, ज़मीनें चली जाएंगी। तो ये उसी तरीके की कोशिश हो रही जैसे 3 तलाक में होता था, जैसे आर्टिकल 370, 35A में होता था। लेकिन दोनों के परिणाम सुखद आए हैं, इसका भी परिणाम सुखद आएगा।
अगली मीटिंग सर कब आपने कॉल की?
हमारी
Now, before calling the Mirwais, the members of the committee held discussions among themselves, which turned stormy, with opposition leaders claiming the BJP was pushing for speedy acceptance of the report on the Waqf Amendment Bill with an eye on the Delhi elections. The heated arguments during the meeting led to a brief adjournment of the proceedings. After the controversy escalated, 10 opposition MPs have been suspended from the committee for a day as well. Let's listen in to what TMC MP Kalyan Banerjee had to say on the matter as well.
हम लोग का 21 तारीख तक 21 तारीख तक टूर था। टूर के बाद रात में सब नोटिस दिया 24th 25th मीटिंग होगा। That in the tour itself meeting, Mr. Raja and others requested the chairman to adjourn, fix up the date on 30th or 31st. Within 3 days, it is not possible. He didn't hear us.
Amendments he moved.
And he asked. All of a sudden, we have got the notice that by 22nd, 4 o'clock, amendment has to be given. We have given the amendment, no sufficient time. Then हम लोग बहुत बार रिक्वेस्ट किया है, इसको बंद कीजिए, 30-31 में लीजिए, लेकिन इस रिक्वेस्ट नहीं सुना। कल जब हम लोग रात लैंड किया है दिल्ली में, सब्जेक्ट हैज बीन चेंज। पहले बोला था क्लॉज वाइज होगा, उसने हम लोग कहा सब्जेक्ट रात 11:30 बजे चेंज कर दिया और बोल दिया 25th में मीटिंग नहीं होगा।
A developing political story that is. We will keep a track of how things do pan out indeed in the Waqf Amendment Bill JPC meeting that is to continue in the near future. Well, with that, we're taking you to another story. This one is also from Maharashtra, but one that we've been keeping a track since January 16th. Yes, this is the Saif stabbing case that we are speaking of. In the latest development within the Saif stabbing case, the accused Shahzad's custody has been extended till January 29th. Court observed that there is a substantial progress in the matter and to investigate other consequential aspects is quite necessary, even if it is to ascertain the innocence of the very accused. Meanwhile, Bandra police have recorded Saif Ali Khan's statement in the case earlier today. According to the police sources, Saif revealed that he and his wife Kareena Kapoor were in their bedroom on the 11th floor when they heard the screams of their nanny Aliyama Philip. Now, they rushed to the room of their son, Jahangir, where the nurse also stayed. There, they encountered a stranger. Saif further said that Jahangir was crying, and as he tried to catch the attacker, he was stabbed multiple times. Now, as per Leelavati Hospital's medical report, actor sustained multiple injuries with the laceration on his lower back, measuring up to 0.5 to 1 centimeter. Other details that have also come out from his medical report: his left wrist had a deep cut, 5 to 10 centimeters in length. Severe wound on the right side of his neck measured around 10 to 15 centimeter. In fact, one could see a particular bandage on that area when Saif was leaving from the hospital. His right shoulder also bore a laceration 3 to 5 centimeters deep. Additionally, there were other injuries as well, which includes an abrasion wound on his elbow, which measured up to 5 centimeters. These are some of the details of the injuries that Saif had borne and suffered on the night of January 16th, when this entire, or rather the wee hours of January 16th, when this entire attack had taken place. Moving on and take you down south now. The Supreme Court refused to cancel the bail granted to Kannada actors. This is the Supreme Court's remarks on the Renukaswamy murder case. Darshan Thogudeepa, Pavitra Gowda, 5 others in Renukaswamy murder case agreed to examine the Karnataka government's challenge with regards to the bail that was given to these 3 and 5 others. Now, a bench of justices J.B. Pardiwala and R. Mahadevan issued notice to Darshan and others on the state's plea against Karnataka High Court bail order. State government, the apex court said, apprehended other co-accused would be allowed to take advantage of the order passed by the High Court in the impunged order. Now, the Karnataka High Court on December 13, 2024 granted bail to the actor Darshan and others. Darshan was arrested on June 11, 2024 for allegedly killing his fan Renukaswamy on June 8, the same year, after he reportedly sent obscene messages to Gowda. Moving on to Hyderabad next, shocking details continue to surface in the gruesome, bone-chilling Meerpet murder case. Police have discovered crucial evidence at the crime scene, which includes a wooden base which was allegedly used for cutting meat and now believed to have been used in the crime itself. Burnt body parts have also been recovered. Now, authorities have collected the DNA samples from the remains and will be comparing them with the DNA from the children as a part of the investigation that continues into this horrifying case where a man killed, chopped and boiled his wife in a pressure cooker. This is the particular update that we are bringing to you. Now, man had made the family of the woman believe that she was missing. They even filed a missing persons report, the family of the woman, and it was later on that the suspicion fell on this very man, that the police in fact interrogated him, and that is when he had come out to say that yes, this was done by him. That, ladies and gentlemen, was the wooden base that we were speaking of that has been found. That is the very wooden base which is being considered to be a critical evidence, a piece of evidence in this very case, which may be presented to the court in due course of time. Moving on to the national capital now. The Delhi High Court has declined to order a special sitting of the Delhi Legislative Assembly to table reports by the Comptroller and the Auditor General CAG. Justice Sachin Datta stated that while tabling these reports as a constitutional mandate, the court could not compel the Speaker to convene a session, particularly with elections being around the corner. The plea was filed by Leader of Opposition Vijendra Gupta and 6 BJP MLAs, accusing the Delhi government of delaying the tabling of 14 CAG reports on finance, pollution, administration and liquor policies. During the hearings itself, the court criticized the Delhi government for dragging its feet on this issue, calling the delay unfortunate and underscoring the importance of accountability in governance. The petitioners pointed out that in December 2024, government had assured the court that the reports would be forwarded to the Speaker within 2 to 3 days. However, as of December 12, 2024, this commitment had not been fulfilled, violating the earlier statement that had been made. The court now reserved its verdict after hearing senior advocate Mahesh Jethmalani for the petitioners and counsels representing the Delhi government and the Speaker of the very assembly. While the High Court acknowledged the delay, it refrained from issuing directions to convene a session, emphasizing that such authority rests only with the Speaker. Moving on to another story that comes in from the national capital. Well, political temperatures have been escalating in the national capital in the run-up to the very polls that are to take place on February 5th. Now, politics over alleged attack on Arvind Kejriwal doesn't seem to be stopping even now. Well, in the latest update, Delhi Chief Minister Atishi has alleged that a huge conspiracy is being made in Delhi itself to kill Arvind Kejriwal ahead of the assembly elections. In a fresh attack, Delhi Chief Minister Atishi has tried to corner both the BJP as well as the Delhi police over the incident that took place. Atishi said that there are two parts and two players behind this very conspiracy. One is workers of BJP who attack Arvind Kejriwal and pelt stones on him in different parts of Delhi. The second player being the Delhi police that comes under the BJP and the Union Home Minister Amit Shah. Let's listen in to what Atishi had to say in her claims against both parties.
एक बहुत बड़ी साजिश रची जा रही है अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को जान से मारने की साजिश और इस साजिश में दो खिलाड़ी हैं एक तरफ है भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता जो अरविंद केजरीवाल जी पे दिल्ली के अलग-अलग हिस्सों में जाके हमला करते हैं पत्थर फेंकते हैं डंडे लेकर आते हैं स्पिरिट के स्प्रे करते हैं और इसमें दूसरी खिलाड़ी साजिशकर्ता है भारतीय जनता पार्टी और अमित शाह के अंडर आने वाली दिल्ली पुलिस भारतीय जनता पार्टी और दिल्ली पुलिस की इस जुगलबंदी से अरविंद केजरीवाल जी की जान लेने की साजिश हो रही है हम लगातार देख रहे हैं कि एक के बाद एक अरविंद केजरीवाल जी पे हमले हो रहे हैं
Now, Atishi has further escalated the attack by saying that with the collusion of BJP and Delhi police, conspiracy is being hatched to kill Arvind Kejriwal. Remember, this comes as Aam Aadmi Party has submitted a complaint already with the Election Commission over the attack on AAP's national convener Arvind Kejriwal's car.
पिछले कई दिनों से लगातार अरविंद केजरीवाल जब भी पब्लिक मीटिंग में जाते हैं तो पत्थर कहीं पे लाठियां कहीं पे पेट्रोल जैसे तरल पदार्थ फेंके जाते हैं कहीं पे कोई ना कोई मैन हैंडलिंग की कोशिश की जाती है गाड़ी के पास पहुंचकर हंगामा किया जाता है लेकिन दिल्ली पुलिस जो है वो ना तो एफआईआर लिखती है हम अगर नाम भी बता दें कि ये नाम है उनके तो भी वो लिखते नहीं हैं क्योंकि उनको ऊपर से डायरेक्शन है कि अरविंद केजरीवाल को फिजिकली हार्म करना है ताकि वो डर के बैठ जाए वो प्रचार में ना निकले और पंजाब पुलिस के पास बहुत एक ठोस सबूत थे इनक्रेडिबल डाटा था इनपुट थी कि दिल्ली में हमला हो सकता है पंजाब में भी हो सकता है तो पंजाब पुलिस ने अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को सिक्योरिटी दी
Moving on to now a startling incident that has caught the attention of Delhi's residents as well as the law and order authorities here. Two young men were apprehended by the police during a routine patrol in the Okhla area. Now, the officers encountered two boys riding a Royal Enfield motorcycle in a reckless manner, and the duo was spotted coming from the wrong side of the road, creating a loud disturbance with the bike's modified silencer as well as the way they were riding it in a zigzag pattern on the road. Upon stopping them for questioning, one of the boys claimed to be the son of Aam Aadmi Party MLA Arvind Khan, identifying himself as Muhammad Anas. Now, the situation escalated when Anas misbehaved with the officers, alleging that they were targeting him because of his father's political status. When asked for their driving licenses and identification, both boys refused to in fact comply, asserting that they did not need to provide such documents. In an attempt to leverage his father's influence, Anas even called Arvind Khan and handed the phone to the station house officer, who was also subjected to disrespectful remarks. Despite the boys' attempt to evade responsibility, police proceeded with legal action. A case was registered against them for multiple violations under the Motor Vehicles Act, and the police imposed a hefty fine of Rs 20,000 on Anas for his actions. The motorcycle was in fact subsequently seized and brought to the police station as well. FIR details indicate that this incident occurred yesterday around 8:30 p.m. during patrols conducted in anticipation of Republic Day celebrations. Moving on to now a climate story coming in